the cues when something goes wrong with the way messages pass between your brain and muscles. This pathway from your brain to your muscles is called the motor pathway. Then after, muscle functions in parts of your body is lost. Paralysis has no specific target. It affects both the young and the adults. People who live with this kind of condition often face physical and emotional discomfort. For the physical, they're incapacitated, meaning they can't move some of their body parts. For the emotional, they often face fear and hostility. Both needs space not for them to be isolated, but to cater their special needs. The space that we will provide for them consists of 8 high-cube container trucks. Why high-cube container trucks? Because it is easily constructed, it is sturdy, it is versatile, it is low-cost, and modular. The proposed structure is a learning center. Why learning center instead of a school? Because a learning center focuses more on the development of a child, his well-being, and his personality in whole. Unlike in school, a certain curriculum is imposed wherein the child is obligated to follow the said curriculum, thus somehow limits their capacities. Going back, a learning center develops a sense of responsibility, develops self-esteem, it is also a training grounds and the guide, and it also strengthens their emotional and physical being, which in whole aim to instill better understanding of circumstances to people.
The proposed site is located inside the UP DILIMAN campus, specifically the Better Way. Why the Better Way? Because first of all, it is considered as a known spot in UP DILIMAN. It is also considered as the central park in the campus. Since one of our goals is to reduce the barrier by creating an interaction between the incapacitated and the capacitated people, we thought that the Better Way would be an appropriate site because it is located between the lagoon and the sunken garden. The map of the UP DILIMAN campus. We've identified its land use plan according to its campus core, academic units, development services, technology parks, dormitories, faculty and staff housing, other parks and major open spaces, community services, commercial developments, and the protected forest areas. Road classification, we've identified the main road and the minor roads. Low landslide susceptibility in these areas. In red areas, there are about 58,988 to 119,053 residents. For the orange, there are 31,932 to 58,987 residents, and for the violet, there are about 7,121 to 14,784. The population density, the yellow stands for low and the red stands for high. Flood susceptibility map, we've identified the low, the moderate, the high, and the very high areas where flood flows. The slope map of the whole campus. Crime distribution map, which are theft, robbery, damage to property, physical injury, and others. First site, the Better Way. Statement. The integration between the incapacitated and capacitated individuals through the inclusive and transparent design of the learning center. Antithesis. The integration between the incapacitated and capacitated individuals through the exclusive and transparent design of the learning center. For a synthesis, instilling better understanding of circumstances to people through the exercise of further integration between the incapacitated and capacitated individuals within the inclusive and transparent design of the learning center. To prove that through this learning center, there will be more interaction between the incapacitated and the capacitated, we would also like to eliminate or reduce the discrimination towards the incapacitated.
One of our concepts in this project is a tubific worm. To further explain the connection between a tubific worm and paralytic kids, we've made a comparison on how the people view them. People often view worms and paralytic children as parasites, somehow worthless, but they don't know that they both have lots of benefits. For the worms, they can survive in polluted water, they're used in breeding fish, and also they're food for the fish, and they clean the water. For the paralytic children, since they are young, they're fresh and they have lots of opportunities, and they can also survive in a harsh society. Both needs to be taken care of for the worms through refrigeration and fresh water to maintain their freshness. For the paralytic children is through the learning center. We believe that if they undergo this two certain process, they would be worthy and they would create an identity for people to see that they are not just parasites, instead they are something. We also want to incorporate the motor pathway in our design, which is the pathway from the brain to the muscle. When you're paralytic, there is a loss of cycle between your brain to your muscle. So through our learning center, we want to replace that loss. Architectural objectives are to incorporate the said concept to the design, create an architectural space that would allow children in wheelchairs to move and use the allotted space freely, build a space that would cater the developmental needs of the paralytic children, and to build a new and sustainable environment for both the incapacitated and the capacitated. Objectives are to reduce the barrier between the incapacitated and capacitated, change how incapacitated see themselves and how others see and treat them, assist children in their development through learning and involving themselves in different activities provided, and provide an education for them.
Output, the barrier between the incapacitated and the capacitated has been reduced to the learning center. The paralytic kids can now enjoy a normal life without discrimination. And they are also free to do normal activities just like the normal kids. And the extensive interaction not only with the users but with the users and the environment as well. Paralytic children have now developed a sense of self-confidence and feelings of security and acceptance in this community. Our strategies in putting up this project is to make the learning center sustainable as much as possible by considering the economic, ecological, and social aspects of the project. To make the paralytic kids feel as if they are not limited in doing things due to their condition. Daily counseling for the children will be held to strengthen their emotional and spiritual being. Lots of fun activities would be incorporated in teaching style. Involvement and participation of both the incapacitated and the capacitated on different activities. Provision of different mental and physical activities in the learning center to help paralytic kids live normally. To create a learning center with the use of 8 high cube containers that would provide interaction between the incapacitated and the capacitated. Integrated space management, inclusion, integrated sustainability, and building technologies in our project. For the space management, standard measurements to maximize spaces for the proper movement of kids in wheelchairs. Allotment of different activities that would utilize the space given. The use of the 8 high cube containers for a much more spacious structure. For the inclusion, establishing a learning center within the UP campus for paralytic kids in wheelchair, wherein they could learn and develop different mental and physical skills through activities like in a normal school. Students of UP as volunteers to teach and assist in the learning center that would create an interaction between them. Eliminating the barrier or somehow reducing it between the capacitated and the non-incapacitated by making the structure usable for both. Building technologies, the installation of the high cube containers, ample ramps for an easier movement of the kids in wheelchair, the installation of glass windows to provide ample light to shine inside the structure. Our learning center is somehow a mini campus, which consists of an activity area, an exhibit area, a counseling room, and a classroom.
In our activity room, There are different activities such as arts and crafts and cooking.
The classroom provides basic subjects such as math, science, English, and etc.
The counseling room provides daily counseling services for the guidance of the kids.
The exhibit area is where the projects and the creations of the kids are displayed. The application of our concept is seen through the interior flow of each structure, as well as the development of the whole site.